Hi guys, Katie with Fabicab here. I'm here today to talk to you about the quoting process with Fabicab. So let's say you have a service customer who's interested in upgrading their cab interiors, or you have a modernization project that the cab interior is included. There are a few options you can do here. So some people come to me and ask, "Hey, what do you need in order to get me a quote? Do you just need capacity?" So I'm going to go through the things that we need in order to get you a quote in different situations. So if you've got a customer that's wanting an interior and you basically know the traffic of their building, the usage in their building, and the design that the customer is wanting, we would need capacity and dimensions. And the reason I say dimensions is important is because if you have a very tall cab, it's going to require more material than a very short cab. And we have to take this into account with our pricing. So if you say, Katie, I have a 2,500-pound cab, I'm going to come back to you and ask, is it standard height or is it a tall cab? Because we always have to take that into consideration when sending you a quote. So we need that. Ideally, we would need a budget idea because we're not going to try to give a very expensive cab if they don't really know what they want yet. We need an idea of where to go with the design. So if they're looking for just straight laminate cab, or they need metal on the bottom, if it's a hospital and there's a lot of carts involved, and we need to know the budget they're looking at so the boundaries we can work within for our quote. Ideally, we would need a survey, but I realize sometimes that doesn't happen on the front end. And if you can get photos, you get a gold star from Favicab for that. So, all those things put together, we can get together a quote. If you don't know what your customer's wanting design-wise, we're always happy to jump on a design session and really get the customer to the cab that they're wanting before we proceed with that quote. So at that point, when we have all that information that we need, I'll put together the information, come up with a quote for you, email it over to you. Now, some things to know about our quote. You'll see the cab interior system, you'll see your ceiling, your reveals, your handrails or your bumpers or whatever you've requested. Usually there's an option for cab pads that you can initial off on or maybe emergency lighting. But one thing that's very important about Fabicab is we include our approval drawings and our shipping in our quotes. Now, not everyone does this, and it makes a pretty big difference in the price. So you won't get any charges after the fact for shipping or approval drawings with Fabicab. Take that to your superintendent because it's very important to know because it does make a difference when you're comparing quotes. At that point, you take your quote, you look it over. If everything looks good, you take that to your superintendent or you apply your labor that you know you already need. And then you send that your own quote on to the customer. So take our quote, add your labor that you need and anything else that you might want to include, and then send that on to your customer. If once your customer gets it, they have questions, they want to change the design, they want to look at some other options, contact me or your Fabicab rep. We can always sit down with your customer, do a design session with you involved, and really get them to where they want. I hope that gives you some good information about how to quote your cab interior. And as always, reach out to us if you have any questions. Bye.